Is that Geoff?
G'day everyone and welcome aboard. It is Sunday Market Update and I'm Geoff. I'm coming to you live from Tasmania in Australia, and I'm going to be joined very, very shortly by Shukri, Lloyd. Shukri, of course, on cryptos. Lloyd's going to be taking us through his index watch, and we might even be fortunate enough to get Ainslie in to talk about some oil and gold prospects for the coming week. You will have to forgive us for the lack of people in the room this week because we've got a very, very big event going on in Singapore at the moment, live event, internet IFP event. And I'm sorry, I can't even remember what that stands for. Just hopeless me. It's Sunday. We've also got, of course, this week coming up a major event, which is kind of virtual, kind of not. We've got the big boss in Singapore. He'll be hosting the event, and it's for those of you, pardon me, on a, don't ask me what level it is, but there are, I think it's platinum maybe, the platinum level people. They will be invited to attend what used to be the Bali trading retreat. That was prior to COVID-19, stopping us all from going to Bali. But this year, we have decided to hold that event, partial virtual, partial live. I'm not sure who's live in Singapore, but certainly there's a host of traders that's going to be, that will be presenting to the Platinum clients over the next 4 days, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. I think it's something like 15 hours per day. And I'm not sure how many, but it'll be 40 plus traders from the organization. A few that those haven't been introduced so far to the ATW family, but certainly the old favourites, old like me, and of course Shukri will be joining us for the first time for the retreats. That'll be very, very interesting to hear the crypto world and what it's doing and what we can expect in the next few months, years. And
go to Saturn next.
I beg your pardon? Saturn next. Okay. Okay, we'll be going to Saturn with Shukri in the not too distant future. I must confess, guys, I've got a dreadful situation here in that my monitor has crashed, and all I've got to conduct this ceremony with is a laptop which is directly in front of me. So if there are a few clicks that go wrong here, then please forgive me. I'm going to start this evening, where are we? It's evening in my part of the world, by looking at, and please guys, if you're not seeing what you should be seeing, let me know, because I've got this weird little thing in the middle of my screen here, which is supposed to be over on my monitor, and I don't know why. But hopefully by now you should be able to see my Forex factory chart. And I'm purposely looking at last week's events to see if we can carry anything into this week or this upcoming week in terms of what may have changed direction or what may be starting trend.
Yeah.
And hello, Lloyd.
Yes. Yeah, we are still looking at you. I mean, not that you're that bad looking, but I don't think that's the intended image.
Oh, you'll go far, mate. Let me try again then. Yeah, okay. I don't know how to address that. Let me go to that screen and see if that works. Is that any better?
Seems like you're starting screen sharing. Takes a while.
Forex Factory.
We're only having the words Geoff has started screen sharing. Don't really see any of it. Did I lose? I think we lost Geoff. Am I right, Shukri? Did we lose Geoff?
He crashed.
Oh, so
yeah, I see this on Skype. I think we lost it.
Okay, why not I go first? Shall I?
Sure. Hopefully, Geoff will come out.
I'm sure he'll pop up somewhere. All right, so let me grab the screen.
He's probably in crypto land.
Did you bring him on too much of a joy, right? That he lost his bearings.
Yeah.
All right, evening, guys, or afternoon, depending. So let me hop on to the currency indices. Yeah, there's been a bit of a shuffle. I'll still maintain that the dollar is pretty hard to trade nowadays, given that it's still we are still early into Biden's administration. Yeah, so dollar seems to be jumping a bit here and there, which may be actually good news for the crypto traders, I suspect. Yeah. So, but before that, let me go to the usual suspects. The Japanese index, GXY. So you can see from the weekly charts, all right, it's still pretty much holding itself above the trend line. And even on the daily side, you can see that it did gap down, but it still formed as a low test bar, a pin bar perhaps, and it's still holding very well on the trend line itself. So with that in mind, I would say that the JEP still has pretty good potential to actually continue its growth, is crawling upwards. Yeah. British pound, still pretty bullish about it. Just looking at the daily price action, you can see that we see more green bars than red, but that's not the only reason. In fact, if you can look at the histogram, is that it seems that price has already formed a higher low. It's actually looking pretty good to me for more uptrend potential. Over at the Swiss index, let's have a look at the weekly chart. Yeah. So last week I mentioned that I suspect that price might actually come back and retest the horizontal level. And in fact, it did not. Yeah, straight up on Monday, price actually dropped a bit and then it rallied upwards. Yeah, so it seems like it has formed a double bottom instead of coming back to test the horizontal level. So it seems pretty good that the Swiss will actually continue its upward crawl towards 115. Yeah, so overall, the JET, the British pound, the Swiss, I'm still bullish about it. Yeah, it doesn't seem like their retracement will be huge. Yes, minor retracement. Euro, now Euro seems, if you look at the weekly chart, it has formed an inside bar, which is considering an uptrend movement. Inside bar to me is pretty much indecisive at the moment. Yeah, although we do see some greens from it. Yeah, that's why I put it in the middle. I'm not really that very bullish about it. Yeah. So the good thing is that we do have a divergence that came up. So let's see that whether this divergence will play itself out. Now, on this sense, that I'm actually bullish about Euro, just that compared to the first trade, I'll be much more cautious about it. Oops, did I click the wrong one?
I am back, Lloyd, by the way. Thank you for...
Oh, hi, Geoff. See, I told the audience you'll be back one way or the other.
I'm like,
right, for the Kiwi,
like Schwarzenegger.
I'll be back. All right, for the Kiwi, you can see that this is a trend chart reversal that we have on the weekly chart, which is a good thing. That means that it's on a weekly, but it has a reversal by itself, but doesn't seem to be particularly strong at the moment. Yeah. So I'll be bullish about Kiwi, just cautiously bullish. That means usually when I use that term, that means I will probably half my risk or something like that. Now the CAD, yeah. So from last week, I did mention that it has formed a test bar, a rejection. Now the moment, sorry, that's on weekly charts. Yeah. So the moment actually it closes below the trend line, then not that I'll immediately be bearish about it, yeah, but I'll be starting to build up the case for a CAD bearish move. Yeah. So ultimately, one might start to ask is that when will I be exactly bullish about CAD? I would say when it begins to break this level. Yeah, so you can see that this is where CAD previously was having a bit of a hesitation around here. Yeah, so the moment the Canadian dollar actually break this level, then I'll be really bearish about it. Yeah. So for now, the opportunity for us is that if you see some sort of cyclicity in the lower time frame, we can actually start to build in a bearish case and see that we see if it's possible for us to get an early entry for downtrend. Yeah. But as it is, I don't highly emphasize trading a reversal strategy unless you have one and it's being tested. But we can start to build a case for it. Now, Aussie, on the weekly time frame, you can see that things are not really good at the moment. Last week we have a test bar. This week we have an inside bar, which is also looking like a test bar. And the momentum seems to be waning on the weekly time frame. On the daily chart, so we can see on the daily chart is that price seems to be. This is ugly. Sorry. Oops. Yeah. So price seems to be forming into a wedge. All right. So what I'm waiting for now is for the Aussie to actually break this wedge, and then I'll be happy to actually see what can be done about it. But as of now, looking at the weekly time frame, I am actually bearish about it. And the last is DXY. Long term, I did mention that the DXY is on the downtrend. Last week, I was really hoping that you actually recover back to about 92, then I'll build in more short position. But it seems that for whatever reason, I'm not an expert on fundamentals. DXY seems to be continuing on its downtrend momentum. Yeah. So so on Monday or this coming Tuesday, if price close below the 90 level, then I'll be really bearish about it. For now, because 90 is a really strong psychological level, I'll be holding my horses until I have a very strong price action that I can trade off. Yeah. So with that, I'll be passing the screen back to Geoff. And
I'm getting there, mate. I'm getting there. it's a big. It's like a duck on a pond here. I can assure you, there's a lot going on under the water. I think the dollar index is a tricky one, and I just I don't know. There's too many fundamentals in the way for that at the moment, and I don't know whether it's up, down, or whatever. It's like an umbrella, really, at the moment in a fickle climate. So I'm just not too sure. Where are you going with that? I just missed your last little bit. You're waiting to be bearish again. Is that right?
For DXY, yeah, I'm
Yep.
waiting to be bearish, but waiting for price to clear the psychological level of 90 before I will be enthusiastically jumping into it.
Yep. Cool. All good. What was the? I missed most of what you said, of course. Have you got a favourite for the week? Is there the best currency to be looking at?
Favorite for the week? I mean, give me a minute. I don't really have a favorite usually when I trade nowadays. But I would say I'll still favor the Swiss. Of course, for a long position, I'll still favor the Swiss and the pound.
Swissy and pound.
Yeah.
Okay. I will write those down, and I'll say Lloyd said Swissy and Lloyd said pound when they both go shooting up through the sky. Mate, thank you so much for picking up the reins there whilst I just crashed. I've now got everything back. I've got all my monitors back, and the world is looking a far brighter place than it did 5 minutes ago when I was under enormous stress. Not good for Sunday.
On the bright side, Ainslie has joined us.
The what, sorry?
On the bright side, Ainslie has joined us.
That's the bright side.
That is the bright side.
And
How are you? You good?
I'm good, thanks, Jeffy. How are you?
Yeah, no, just had a little incident, but now okay.
I saw that on the...
Lloyd, before I let you go.
Hi, Lewis. How are
Sorry,
you?
I'll be back in 2 secs. Lloyd, before you go, or have you already gone?
Teleported away,
Is there a dog?
It's not mine.
yeah, my sister put a corgi, 2-year-old corgi in my house.
Okay, there you go, mate. Massive week coming up. Are you all in ship shape? Looking forward to it?
Yeah, definitely. I think it's going to be a challenging retreat. By the way, welcome to the Singapore retreat, first of its kind. Yeah. So,
Yeah, well, you don't have to go too far.
sorry, yeah, didn't catch that.
I say you don't have to go too far, do you? I've
No, actually,
got a funny feeling I'll be waking
I'm
up
hoping
every
to go
morning
far.
far better than I do in Bali. Sorry?
I want to go far, if you know what I mean.
Oh, you'd rather be, I think we'd all rather, well, I'd rather be in the position to be in Bali. I don't like Bali because of the heat, but apart from that, it's a whole lot of fun, of course, and we do have a wonderful time over there, and hopefully we'll be going there maybe October, November-ish, I think. We'll see.
Keeping my fingers crossed, definitely.
Fingers crossed. All right, buddy, have a great week, and I'll be chatting to you throughout that, and of course listening to all the stuff that you'll be presenting for us. Thank you so much for, as I say, picking up the reins today.
No problem. Oh, by the way, one last thing before I leave.
Yes.
IFP, where most of the traders come from, interactive forex profit.
Thank you, mate. It was just, I was under a little bit of pressure there because I was crashing. All my monitors were just going black around me, and I thought, IFP, last thing on my mind, I've got to say. Mate, thank you very much. We'll catch up with you throughout the week. Hey, how you doing?
Hi there. How are we? Happy New Year. I haven't been back on the airways for since last year.
Oh, okay.
I know.
Well, we have for a couple of weeks, of course. I'm still trying to sort out this bloody thing. Hang on. And I'll get the screen off. And we can start talking to you about what's on your mind, apart from IFP and trading retreats. I suppose gold and oil is still in there somewhere.
And school holidays, and the girls go back to school this Thursday. Yes!
Yeah, I'm going to say that won't be a bad thing for you, I wouldn't think.
Oh, and apart from a heat wave. So we were laughing the other day, Paul saying, oh, it's a good thing we're not in Bali. It's pouring with rain, blah, blah, blah. And Sydney's had a heat wave. So it's been a tad warm here and the air conditioner is pumping. And I noticed you're in a jumper. I'm just like...
Well, actually, I think it's been fairly hot here today too, around about 27, 28.
Ooh.
But we're expecting expecting a heat wave tomorrow. You're sending the heat down here. I think it's about 30,
Yeah.
mid-30s.
Out west, they're expecting 40.
Yep. Well, you can have that. That's
No,
all yours.
I don't live out west, so I'm happy with where I'm happy where I am. We're hunkering down.
Lewis, there's. Sorry, you go. Eh?
I'm just saying I'm happy. I'm hunkering down. I'm happy where I live. I'm over near the coast, and it's still warm. It's still warm. Don't get me wrong, but yeah, it's not pouring with rain, so that's one thing. We've done the rain.
I've got a lovely breeze coming off the river as I look over at the moment. Quite nice. Anyway, that's got very little to do with trade.
Right. Let's
Pardon?
start with oil. Let's start with oil.
Let's start with oil.
Yeah, oil. Has that had? Thanks, Geoffy.
So it's come off.
Hasn't it come up? Back up a second yellow grid down. Thank you. WTI.
I can't give you XTI. I can only give you WTI. Sorry.
Oh, well, let's go with WTI. Yeah, let's go with that. That's okay. Dinga dinga dinga.
Do you need any fancy indicators or things on here?
Look, what we're looking at is the mess it is. It has been going up. Yes, it has been when you're looking at it on a daily basis. But recently, what we're trying to work out is where we're going to go with this. And for the last week, look at it, up and down and up and down. So we're in a really solid part of consolidation there. So what happened with oil? And oil, we knew this was oil and we knew it was coming. And there were a couple of things with oil, and that was the lockdowns in Europe. That was one of the main reasons that oil just decided, yeah, we're not going any further. So there was the whole production. Then there were further restrictions with Japan and Hong Kong and Shanghai, and those things really oppressed oil as it went along as well. The other thing, the other little thing was Joe Biden's inauguration and his right hand and a pen and executive orders, and they started to get going as well. And what that hit was the Keystone XL project. That has been reversed. That was a Trump administration decision, and that what it is, a tar sand crude, which actually allowed the pumping of some very tar sand crude is not your normal crude. It's quite corrosive. It's quite it's thick and gooey, and it doesn't move like normal light crude. And the only way to pump it efficiently and effectively is through the pipes. And the pipe is a big zigzag from Alberta through Saskatchewan and down through the States to Texas. This new pipeline that I was talking about that they wanted to go, it was going to cut a lot of the big V out of, or the triangle out of that, and it was more of a direct route through to down into Illinois, and no, sorry, not Illinois, down straight down to Texas, with a big stop at Cushing, which is the big storage place. It's a holder, it's a storage facility for oil. So Joe Biden's right hand signed that, reversed it, 90,000 jobs went on the line. Justin Trudeau tweeted he was very, very disappointed. So I think that's right up there with Trump saying they're bad people, it's a hoax and it's fake news. And what that happened to do was bring the price of oil down, but it also impacted the dollar CAD. So you saw the Canadian dollar go right, it reversed. So that's what happened.
Don't remind me, please.
Okay, I won't remind you there. But so we understand what's happening. It was coming. He's also the Federal Energy Regulatory Commission, the FERC, sorry. He's appointed this guy called Richard Click, and he has just got green coming out of his pores. So how that impacts oil is interesting, because long term, do you know what, guys? It's not going to impact it overnight. Oil, obviously we had some impact with those kind of concessions and all the rest of it, but let's just take another step forward. Next week, we're all talking about a $1.9 trillion stimulus package. All right. What that's going to do is it's going to pump a bit more into the economy. Now, interesting conversation about what is it going to do to the US dollar. Yep.
Very interesting conversation.
Because the next thing is oil is looking at it, and a lot of the Goldman Sachs, by the way, and I was reading Goldman Sachs report was they really think it's going to keep going up. Might have a bit of a pullback while we get through what is a very green Biden-Harris administration. I'd like to add in the vice president's surname there. Biden-Harris administration, as far as what they're going to do long term, how that's going to impact, because we've almost got this double top happening now on a daily chart on oil. Is it going to come back and clip around the 48.50 mark? Is it, or is it just sitting on what's going to happen? Good question. Don't have a crystal ball. But
interesting close, isn't it, really?
Interesting close. Hello. Yeah. Double top, straight into support. Doesn't want to know it any lower. But yeah, what is the next step? So we've had all the expectations. We knew Keystone was definitely on the table for an executive order to be reversed. We knew that was going to happen. Thank you very much. It's happened. Let's move on. Next thing on the agenda is the stimulus package. I don't know. I think we're going to see the US dollar come off, because at $1.9 trillion is nothing to sneeze at. It's going to impact it. If they're talking about $2,000 to each person. Personal household. Do you know the difference? But I've skimmed it, and I've really got to, like my kids, I've really got to pay more attention to the detail with what they're saying. I tend to either say yes or no, and that's another story altogether. But that brings me into gold. So gold's had a really good run up with. So we're going to leave oil, because oil, we know what's happened past. What we're looking for is it's consolidating to move on. Let's just wait for a bit more information, because you don't have enough information on that chart to make a decision where you're going to go. Oil.
Yeah, cool.
See you later. Gold is been giving me heartburn for some time.
Can't imagine why. Look at
that. Now, I had a nice good run up, and I've banked some of that profit from the end of November through, but not as much as I normally do, because that Georgia state election absolutely creamed the socks out of my floating profit. Took me a little bit to come back and look at the chart. So if anybody was wondering, what do some of us do when we have a bit of a hit? We go down to the dog park and ignore the dog and just not look at the screens for some days until we can.
So you're going to say you kicked the dog? That's not very nice.
No, I wouldn't kick my puppy dog.
I know you wouldn't.
But with all the inaugurations, now I think one of the things we expected with the Georgia state election was, if a Republican got in, we expected to see the dollar fall and gold go up. We didn't see that. What we saw was the Democrats having a majority in the Senate. They are in control, and we expected it to keep going. We expected it to rise. It didn't happen. It didn't do that. It was complete opposite to what the expectations and the analysts thought would happen. Read the price action. Don't listen to the analysts is all I can say. We had that huge meltdown, and I cannot find a meltdown from a January run up. So the third trading day of the year is something to watch. After, there is always a pullback on the fourth trading day of the year with gold. I've gone back as far as I can find. I have not found anything in 20 years for gold to actually retrace on the fourth trading day, thank you, of the year back down to December levels. So this is extraordinary. It's not on any of my seasonal charts. It's nowhere. I was expecting a pullback with it to keep going. It didn't happen. It was unusual. We looked at, in 2 days, it was like a $140 drop. It was huge. So we live and learn, people, and this is unusual. I think the sentiment basically was, when there was a bit more of a push-up was, thank God we finally got adults in control of the White House. I think that was why there was a reaction. And the US dollar had a
It's got to be a relief, hasn't it, really? I mean, we can all take a big sigh, I think, and go,
huge,
thank God.
huge. And, you know, he's
Whoever's
talking about his legacy here, there, and everywhere. And all these different departments are now reporting on what's happened, specifically in manufacturing and in, you know, climate change and emissions. And you keep going on onto the individual sections on industry and start reading those reports. It's been quite sad what's happened to the US economy, and now what they are going to have to do to dig themselves out of where they are to become the power that they used to be. They've got a long way to go.
Big ask. Oh.
They've got a long way to go. Now, what's happening next week? As I said, let's go back, like with oil. We've had a big bounce, and we're looking at the big stimulus package. Janet Yellen, I love the little golden gnome. She is gorgeous. I love her. She's like a little stabilizer, but you can't call her the Duracell bunny. You can't call her anything like that. She's just stable. And you know what? When you've got somebody in charge of how the Fed is going to be run, that's what you want. Nice and stable, nice and conservative, nice and accountable and responsible. And that's what we want to see. So,
and has good form in the job. So
she does.
She
the
can,
only time
you can look at it from the coalface point of view.
Yeah, she's been there before. She knows what to expect. She knows how to lay this out. And she's just said, this is what we've got to do, guys. We're not bending from this. So she's made it really, really clear about how we're going to go forward, or how the US is going to go forward and how they're going to handle it. The only time, I've got to say, I saw her in a Senate inquiry, and she was accused of lying on one occasion. I've never seen her so agitated in all her time of being. she nearly bounced
How
out
dare you?
back the guy. It was just like, I don't know. Yeah, but it was a Trump question. But anyway, moving right along. This package, which is essential, gold forever has been anti-inflationary. It's a hedge against inflation, Geoff. And what is so important about all this, all the economic spending or the economic restructuring that Biden is looking to do is going to be inflationary, because they've got to correct some of the issues that have happened to get the economy back on, right the ship, get it back on track. What we're looking at is gold being anti-inflationary, and it's going to, from what I can see, we've had a little bit of a nightmare here, but I would expect for the next couple of weeks, I'd like to see her go back up again.
Kind of in the middle of nowhere, isn't it? Although that horizontal level has been rejected again.
Horrible.
That's interesting, that level right now. Yeah.
It's horrible. That would be 1850. Actually close to 1855 on Saturday morning our time. And it's given me a bit of heartburn, I'm going to say, Geoff. And it's just not like, and I've gone back.
Gaviscon or Pinot Noir will solve that.
Oh, Sauvignon Blanc. And I couldn't find a Sauvignon Blanc I liked, so I went with the Sauvignon Blanc, Sauvignon Semillon. And look, it tastes like cut grass, honestly. Anyway, I digress. Wet with gold.
So we're still buyers, but are we in it or not?
I'm still buying, and we had a really good run there from the end of November up through, but from that Georgia state election, and even though a Democrat got in, and we expected it to go higher, it didn't happen. It was a really unfortunate thing. But like I said, what we have just seen here with a pullback on gold in January, from the fourth trading day of January all the way back down. And look at that. 1, 2, 3 days, fourth, fifth, and sixth trading day. So that was Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, bang. ugly.
$143.
Yeah.
Then a little double bottom.
Yeah.
Now a little break and retest. Interesting.
We've got a big retest and it's a bounce off, and stay tuned. So let's see what happens. Like I said, I've got to go with what the market's telling me, not with the analysts. My bias for it is with what's coming down the track. My bias is to keep going long with gold. Because now we've got a
Alrighty, we will focus on that.
We will.
Yep, indeed.
Okay.
All right, mate. Look, thanks so
See you
much.
next week.
Yep. Thank you so much for popping in. Really appreciate it. And we'll catch up online during the week in the trading retreat.
Oh God, that's 10:30 tomorrow morning. See you tomorrow morning, Jeffy.
See you in the morning. See you, mate.
Bye.
Hey, folks, we're going to Saturn. Straight from Sydney to Saturn. G'day, Shukri.
Hi.
How you doing, buddy?
I'm good. I'm good. So let's talk about Bitcoin. It did something like gold, you know. It threatened to go down, but I'll tell you why it didn't go down. That's one part which many people can understand. But there is also another part, you know, had you known the cycle and, oh, Geoff, I need to screen share. Oh, okay, this will stop other screen sharing. So if you know the cycle, you would still have hodled on and everything is okay. Okay, but let's start. You know, in your first show, Geoff, somebody asked, you know, if they're selling Bitcoin, where does it go to? He said that it goes to other coins, the smaller ones. I think now it goes to Ethereum last week. Ethereum subsequently made a high, all-time high, quickly came back down, and now it's going into the smaller coins. So what phase are we in? Well, we are in what Henry says, YOLO. This is the YOLO phase. This is, you only live once phase, you know. You go into the smaller penny, what is it? Penny, sub-penny cryptos. This is where you can make your most money now. Let's see here, as usual, you can see where is the Bitcoin dominance. You see here it's 62. It was 69. Now, what does this mean? This means that as Bitcoin went down, the money is flowing somewhere else into the smaller coins. Now, this is very interesting. I'm going to show you another one. This is statistically very, very important here. And then we'll see why it went down and why there was really no panic if you were under me, if you know, I was giving you instructions every day. But anyway, this is important because we had another fall. We had a look at that. That caused a lot of fear. It's below 20, below 29. Now look at this. This is not important. This is important here. From 42 to here, it's 30, so 31. It meets the minimum requirement of 30. If you guys remember that day, it was down like 28.77. I know people will say, no, last time Bitcoin is different. It's not going to do another 30 to 35. I've always been saying, right, from the beginning of time until now, which is 2021, the beginning of time also wasn't that long. It's like 2012. It always falls at least 30% in the rally, sometimes 35%. In 2018, 37. Look what happened.
Have you got a theory behind that, or is it just the way it is?
It is just the way it is. It's always like that. And let me tell you, in a rally, there are at least about 7. Well, I haven't seen the charts. I'll bring it out during the trading retreat. 7 times, 7 or 8 times. Always does that without fail. That day, Geoff, it only went down 28.77. That was a problem, right? You see what I was.
It's remarkable that you actually talk like that. Only 28 points. Nothing really.
28.77. You guys saw that there. I said, I am concerned. And look what happened next. It faked you out. It faked everyone out and went back down. And who made money of this? The exchanges. Okay, they're going to make money more on the downside. Again, we already discussed about forex brokers not really taking you out. It is a fallacy, but Bitcoin, or rather crypto brokers taking you out, is a reality. It's called liquidation. They fake you out and then they bring it back down. And just when you think it's going to go here and go down, they push it up. You're liquidated here again. So it's liquidations everywhere. That's how they make the money. Now, once you see this over, then maybe we're ready. I think we're ready to at least go back up here again. If it blasts this, probably around 52, but I think we could be in this range, and what will happen will happen. But just remember that we are coming up against Chinese New Year, which is very, very dangerous. Do I see more downside? No, I see upside before downside. I only see downside around Chinese New Year. Now let's see what happens. This is a game. Not Yellen. Okay, Yellen's a nice lady. She probably rescued everything. First, she says this, just curtailing cryptocurrencies such as Bitcoin, saying they are mainly used for illegal trades. Hey, I didn't use it for illegal trades. Maybe she was upset because of this. You know, when she was like the Fed chair, like somebody posted this behind and said, buy Bitcoin. I think she's still angry, Geoff. So she said this. And then what happened was Joe Biden. Thank God Joe Biden is the president. Can you not say that? God save Joe Biden. Yep. Because what Joe Biden did, he said, okay, all regulations, we postpone it by 60 days. That also includes the regulation of crypto wallets. You know, you have to declare yourself, Geoff, you can't hide anymore, but who knows? You have 60 days more, okay? You have 60 days more, no one's gonna know you. So, and then funnily enough, Yellen says, hey, guess what? She said, improve the financial system. Like, okay, did you meet Joe? Did Joe cause this? Because remember, right, we saw on Wednesday that Sam Beckman-Fried, Uncle Sam Beckman-Fried is one of the largest donators to Joe Biden's campaign, and he's the CEO of the company FTX, a large crypto exchange, okay? So that's kind of, yes, interesting, right? Joe Biden never forgets his friends, okay? He never forgets his friends. Remember that, guys. Next, I'm gonna show you a FUD. I mean, this caused like total panic. Even I was like, man, is it gonna go down? Is it gonna go down? I'll tell you why we didn't do anything. Look, there's something called double spend. Double spend is very important because you can't spend your Bitcoin twice. A lot of people before Bitcoin tried to do digital currencies. It didn't work because of double spend, right? Double spend, and you just couldn't do it. Blockchain was the first one to actually get rid of this problem, which makes a lot of things possible now. Now, the thing is, look, it was a false double spend rumor. They created this.
Just quickly, what is double spend?
Say I send you the money. Now, before it reaches you, you can do something with that money, right? I have to make sure it reaches you first, and everyone has to confirm in the network. Before that, you can't do anything. So the exchange that purportedly found this said there was a double spend of $20. So just because of $20, you know how much the cryptocurrency market tanked? Bitcoin smashed through all the support. Okay, I mean, all the supports, you saw it just now, right? And this was who, you know, Geoff, you remember this exchange that I call BitMEX? That were the champions of doing the liquidations? Where the CEO is actually on the run. We don't know where he is. They were the ones that caused this. I think they haven't made any money.
What's his name? What's his name?
Arthur Hayes, but we don't know where he is. This is
He's
probably
like, what's that bloke's name in Russia?
I don't
He's gone missing. Yeah.
He's gone. Yeah. Oh, yeah. No. I don't know. Yeah. The Russian things are. Look at this. 11%. Oh, BitMEX, you have created a false rumor again. But of course, you know, and they really profited a lot from this, and of course, so did Binance. But that is just the nature of the game, guys. At the end of the day, it was just a false rumor, and really that was it. So the next thing, news last week. Please be careful, guys, because if you use the Bitcoin paper, you might be sued because of this guy called Craig Wright. And guess what? Craig Wright is Australian. So now we know the origin of Bitcoin could be in Australia.
There you go. Wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah. And he has this coin called Bitcoin SB. Okay, so what's going to happen this week? Well, okay, we're above that. So we've come back. And now I think it's time for Ethereum to go back up, pass again, re-challenge its all-time high. As I've already said, I do expect it to go like that and maybe go like that or even higher. Why? Because of February 8th, the Ethereum goes into where? The CME. What's happening? Remember that in 2018, the day Bitcoin went into the CME, guess what happened? It went down. Because what will happen on February 8th, finally, the big institutions, guys, have a way to short Ethereum. They can't do it now, legally speaking. Okay, so just remember that. I know you're going to be excited, you know, because this always happens all the time. We're so excited, we kind of forgot to sell. Oh, okay. And then when it goes down, we pray, right? And okay, that's it. Okay, you've lost the plot. You don't want to do that. So you can see Ethereum now slowly come back up. Now, so to my students, I think this weekend showed something very important. At the end of the day, if you want to really conquer this market, it's very easy. Listen to the book. Because as Bitcoin was crashing, the book was saying, not now, not yet. Coming soon, okay? Coming soon to a theater near you. Again, towards Chinese New Year. Get your cycle right first. Once you get your cycle right, then you put in the fundamentals, then you put in the technicals, and basically you will fly. And that's how we do it. And now, since it's YOLO time, I think nowadays what we do is, Survive agreed. You know, one of the younger guys in our group, he wants me to set up a YOLO account because he's been saying YOLO, YOLO, YOLO. The younger guys, Geoff, not me. Okay? I'm not responsible for this. But I am setting up an account of YOLO of 5,000 US dollars. Now, to anyone in the world, oh no, now you got to find 5,000 US dollars to fund, right? Not true, because this is YOLO time. I've put it in a cryptocurrency. I'll show you guys. I put 1,000, and so far in the past 3 weeks, that 1,000 has grown to 3,500, another 1,500 to go. The account is ready. Okay, so come to the session, but at 8:45 is the critical one, because that's when I will talk about the day. That's when probably I will give daily advice to my students, and maybe you can get a dose of daily advice. And we're going to do some real weird things. Now, just understand that we are in the stage of coming out of the market, okay? Although some of the guys were brave enough, man, you guys have faith in the book that they bought the dip. I'm like, are you guys for real? Okay, you guys got
brave
faith.
People out there.
They got faith, okay? So once again, yeah, come to 8:45, and we'll do some trades. But
8:45 where?
At night, 8:45. I'm on at 8:45 every night. So that is when I really look at the day and maybe
this is in the trading retreat we're talking about.
Trading retreat, 8:45.
Yeah, that's not available to a lot of people who are in this room, unfortunately.
Then never mind. We'll update them the following week. But here is some things that will happen to show you how weird it is, right? Like again, when nowadays when people say I'm going to set up a 5K account, I don't put US 5K there. I put 1K and then it goes to 5K, right? Hopefully it does. And
you're a clever man.
Yeah, and here's another thing what I'm going to do. This will be a trade, but if a lot is not here, I'll describe it later. Here's you do. Just before I go, the crazy world of cryptos, I will definitely do this trade. I will spend $500 to $100. I can lose everything, and I still have a target profit of US 1,500. Think about that. It is a brain twister, but you'll see the answer probably on Wednesday, latest by Thursday. Definitely going to do this. Already told my guys in the group, I'm going to do this.
Okay, so the only people who'll be able to see this are the people who are in the Singapore trading retreat. And sadly, guys, sadly, very, very good. It's a reward really for being in the platinum level. I think it's platinum, but I could be wrong, and I should have checked that before I started talking about it. So, guys, that
things like this, things that you can't comprehend, but on Wednesday it will make sense. And I think, Geoff, this is an example of how do you say it? Multi-dimensional trading in cryptos. It's not easy, you really have to get used to this. You can say,
this is something I should be looking at, Shukri, yes?
Yes. And remember, Geoff, okay, next week, and please come to Geoff's show. There's none next week, but I am bringing Geoff into Polkadot. Okay, so Polkadot is also doing very well, and it's up to a high again. But look at that panic. Okay? Yeah.
Oof. That's my style of trading up there. I like that.
But Geoff, look, Geoff. Hey, look. Okay, a pump is just a pathway to another range, right? It's forming a range here.
You got it, buddy. It's just a roadmap to the next range. That's all.
Yes, correct.
Simple as that.
Okay.
All right, mate. Listen, massive week coming up, so enjoy that, and I'll catch up with you in one of the shows without any shadow of a doubt, and we will see you. You're not doing your normal shows this week, are you?
No,
or are you?
not.
No. No, because of the trading retreat. Okay, and that's going to be the case, guys. There'll be a few shows that won't actually be occurring. So just check your emails for updates on those, and we will catch up with you the following week in the normal time slots, without doubt. Right, I'm going to very, very briefly go. Normally, I look at 4 currency pairs at this point in time. Today, I've got 2, 4, 6, 8. 9 that I'm going to have a look at. The reason I'm going to have a look at them is generally on a Sunday, I look at things like key reversals on a weekly chart. Now, what that does for me is that gives me insight, I should say is the best word, insight into what I think can happen for the next few days, if not the next week or 2. In fact, we may even get full-time reversals on all of that. Hopefully that's the case, and that's why I look at this, because I think it's so important to do. I don't know why Aussie Cad's come up here. It shouldn't have, because it actually isn't a key reversal, but I'll explain to you what a key reversal is and why I look for them. So key reversal, there's a key reversal right there, okay? A key reversal is not necessarily a hammer, but it could well be. It is a candle whose low is lower than the previous candle's low, and who closes on or near its high, or which closes on or near its high. This hasn't closed on its high, but it's closed near its high. So that would be a candidate for a key reversal bar. Now that versus, let's say, this one, which is not a key reversal bar, but it is a market direction bar. I don't want to confuse you with the two. Key reversal bar is coming back the other way, of course, whose high is higher than the previous candle's high. This one is not, so therefore it doesn't qualify. And who closes, or which closes on or near its low. So it's exactly the same thing in reverse, except this one is and this one isn't. So I don't know why that's popped up on my watch list. It shouldn't have. It's not a key reversal. Aussie Kiwi, on the other hand, is a key reversal, and it's a pretty darn strong one. Again, high of the candle is higher than the previous week, and it closed on or near its low, just like that one there. Perfect example. So that doesn't necessarily mean, it depends on a whole lot of things, whether I'll actually trade that or not. This one looks okay. Why? Because it's a previous resistance level, as you can see through here. Resistance, 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 support through here, resistance again, bang. We've got every reason to suspect that this will bounce off this level. It did. My problem with this one would be, look where we're going. The next level of support is right here. It's been strong support through here, resistance through here, support through here, resistance here, resistance here. So it makes it tough to trade straight into that level. If you can sneak your first take profit in prior to that level, happy days. So your risk is going to be about 115 pips. Your first reward, you would have to take it around about, let's say, 35. It's not quite good enough for me. I like to have 1/3, at least 1/3 of the candle's risk before I would take that position. So what I'll probably do here is look for price to come down, then come back and retest that level. Then I can look for a trade. But that's the whole idea of these things, is to give me an indication as to what may be happening next. It's not necessarily a trade. It will depend on a whole lot of other stuff, like what's the overall trend here? What's the primary trend? Do I have a primary trend? Well, you would say on balance, it's probably down, but really we've been in a range for a long, long time. Over time, you would expect it to go shorter, but is this the time that would happen? Probably not. I think rather we're probably going to stay in this band for a little bit, although there is definitely a potential here for a head and shoulders that you can see. So it's on my watch list for that reason. Cad Swiss, exactly the same candle. high is higher than the previous bar, closed bang on its low. That's very interesting. Again, that doesn't mean it's necessarily a trade, although this one, in my humble opinion, is probably better than the previous. Why? Because if you were to trade that bar, the risk would be there. 117 first reward is not quite half, sorry, a little bit more than half. So that would be okay. Now, I will add one more thing. I don't trade bearish bars short. So this is a black bodied bar or a red bodied bar, if you like. I don't trade those bars. That's the bar I trade, the one that's got a white body. And the reason for that is it gives me some insurance. This one gives me no insurance. So if I was to enter there, I can get taken in pretty quickly into a trade that may or may not go. This may or may not be ready to go. I don't know. And that's why at this point, I'll be looking for that bounce off this level, give me a lower high, which confirms the reversal, and then I can trade it. So this is going to be a theme absolutely throughout. Now, here's another one, Swissy Yen. Swissy Yen is in a very, very nice spot as far as potential bounces are concerned. It did that. And we've got a key reversal bar. We've got a low that's lower than the previous low, and it closed on or near its high. Again, the reward to risk here is absolutely terrible. So I couldn't possibly trade into that. That won't be happening. Again, looking for a pullback if I was to, and I certainly won't be doing that anytime soon on Swissy Yen. I think it's too hard at this level. It's got to pull back some distance. Euro-Cad, I thought Euro-Cad was off and running towards the middle of last week. But as you can see on Friday, and we spoke about this, probably related a lot to oil. And the Cad oil, little bit of a bedfellow situation there. I still like this. I, over time, have been in this trade many, many times. I think this is the 10th time I'm in this trade at the moment. It's in a little bit of a drawdown. We got to here, which was just short of our first take profit, or 60 odd pips short, I've got to say. So that's a little bit disappointing that we didn't pick up our TP1 and we've gone back into drawdown. As I said, not concerned at this point, although that said, the euro looks to be a little bit stronger last week and the CAD looks to be weaker as of Friday based on the oil thing. Oil will play a big part in this trade. I've got no doubt about that. But over time, I think euro has got less credentials than does the CAD. So for that reason, I'm happy to stay in it. And stop loss is way up here. I don't have any issues with it. But going back to what I just said, this is a key reversal bar. And the low, lower than the previous bar, closed on or near its high. Again, going back to the main theme, this is in an uptrend. Now, is that trend over time? You would have to say it's the primary trend, really. So on that basis, it's a little bit wonky, but you can see the price has also been a little bit wonky for a long time. If you wanted to cover the short position here, it's probably not that dusty an idea, but I won't be doing that. I'd like to see a pullback now and see what happens there. Then I might be able to cover that position to some degree. But yeah, I'll go through that throughout the week. But the reason I pointed that out this week is because it is a key reversal bar suggesting to me that over time this will go back up here. I don't know so much. I think it'll go back up, yes, but like every time before, key reversal, there it went up, came back. No more key reversal there, went down, came back. We're in a range. It's pretty much that simple. So yeah, over time, I still think we're going short. Euro yen, again, a key reversal bar. Lower than the previous bar, closed on or near its high. This one's a bit tricky, I reckon. Tricky because, and I've put that channel in there to show you why. It's giving me two things. It's giving me an inverted head and shoulders. It's very offset. Left shoulder, head, right shoulder here. But it's also giving me, okay, we're stuck in this range and we've come off the top of it. So this key reversal bar, whilst it plays into the inverted head and shoulders theme, it doesn't play into the channel theme. And you can see that confluence area that we've come off the top of that channel. I think I'll be looking for a short here again. I'm not sure to where, maybe the bottom of the range, but maybe only to say that level there, which will coincide with that. So I think this is maybe that level there, sorry, which again over time brings you down here. I'm keen to go short this one, Euro Yen, next week. Daily chart is showing me 3 little Indians, which broke, retested. So if that range bottom there is anything to go by, and you can see how strong that level is. Interestingly, we've closed back above it. As I say, this is a long way from being clear, but I think we're going here before we go long again. So Euro Yen, I'm looking for a short. Not yet, of course. Euro dollar, I wanted to point out this on the monthly chart, and that ties in with what I've just spoken about. Let me get rid of that box. Big trend line, monthly chart. We have got a confluence area, strong support, strong resistance, came up to it. We're currently bouncing off it. We don't know how hard we're going to bounce off it, but I've got to be looking for shorts here. I really do. The problem I have is I'm so uncertain about the US dollar. I really don't know what's going on there. So I'm kind of steering clear a little bit of the US dollar, but I do like this scenario. Again, a key reversal to the upside, which confuses me, but that doesn't mean we're going to take out the highs. What it means to me is we can probably come back to a resistance level, let's say there. And if we did, I'd be looking for a bounce and taking it back to this level. So that's what I'll be looking for on euro dollar throughout the week. And I think that's probably one of my favorite plays. Would set up an interesting scenario if we came down here quickly, like left shoulder, head, maybe right shoulder over time. So if we broke that level, came down to this one, back up here, I'm talking way ahead of myself, but that's kind of what I'm seeing. The problem is the US dollar. I think it's a junk, it's a junk currency, but they're talking it up. They're really talking it up. Kiwi Cad's the next one, and very, very similar to what we've just seen on euro dollar. You can see the two levels on euro dollar here, the high and the low of what I consider to be the most likely range area. Kiwi Cad's exactly the same, and maybe putting in has left shoulder. Maybe this is a head. Maybe it does come down here, put in a right shoulder over time. But again, the key reversals there pointing to the upside. But I don't, again, see a whole lot of upside. And that's what's concerning me here. So what I'd like to see is price pull back off that level, which is just above where price is right now. You can see it's been resistance through here all the way through. So I want to see maybe a slow wind up to here, maybe by Wednesday, Thursday, and we can look for that to reverse, then come down into that range area. As I say, that's what I'll be looking for on Kiwi Cad. Again, oil's going to play a big part. Finally, dollar Swissy, and dollar Swissy is pretty clear to me as well. We have got a little bit of a bounce on our hands here. Key reversal, however, and this has been the confounding part of this little exercise that I've been going through, is pointing to the downside. I actually don't see that right now. Maybe a lower high, something like that. But I can't trade that bar. I've got to wait for a pullback. So if I go down to the, let's say, the daily chart on this, you can see that there's, again, a conflicting scenario because we do have a head, we do have a left shoulder. Maybe we've even got the right shoulder there now. So my first play would be trade it back maybe to the weekly pivot, maybe, which won't be there, maybe to the monthly pivot. This is looking a little bit rangy in here too. But the key reversal bar is there and it's telling me short. So it's pretty clear that the primary trend, is there a primary trend there? I'll call it a primary trend. It's got to be down, right? Here's the level that's interesting, which is 87.70. Where are we? We're at, God, that's hard to read, 89.22. So I totally see this as being achievable, but can I jump in here now? No, it's a black bar. I've got to wait for the lower high, then I can go. So that's a little bit of an exercise on key reversals, guys. Not all of them are crystal clear this week, and I think the best of them, frankly, is Aussie Kiwi. And Aussie Kiwi, I've got to say, not Aussie Kiwi, Cad Swiss. Aussie Kiwi took me out. I've been in a long-term trade on Aussie Kiwi since before Christmas. It took my trailing stop through the week as well. This is a big reversal bar in my humble opinion. So back to this area here. Back to there is where I'd like to see this, which will give me a lower high, and then I can trade it. Maybe not too far, but looking at that area there. So back to this trend line in extension, maybe even that horizontal level that we spoke about. Guys, that's it. Not a whole lot of exciting things in terms of potential new trades coming up, but I'm watching all of those key reversals, as I always do, as of tomorrow morning, which is, as I said before, the beginning of the Singapore trading retreat. For those of you who will be in that, buckle down. It's going to be a heck of a week, as it always is. What I would suggest you do is go through the program or the schedule and pick out what you actually want to listen to, because
not everyone can be there, right?
No.
Okay.
No, this is
Before you go, I just want to give people an advice on this cryptocurrency rally.
Okay. Yep,
That's
sure.
no ending. Okay, guys, I know the problem now for a lot of people now. You see it going up. You're overconfident, right? You think you're going to be a millionaire, then you think you're going to be a billionaire, or whatever it is. I know, I was there before, guys. So the problem is, where do you sell, right? You're afraid you sell and then it goes up somewhere and you say, why can't you do this? Let me give you a piece of advice. What I do, you got to learn how to take money in the bank. I've been showing you my educational accounts, and those are real. Let me tell you, I have 2 accounts now. One started at 20K, one started at 25K, okay? The total in those accounts now are like 86K and 95K. And let me tell you, it goes in my head. Do I want to push this up to 100, 120K? Knowing that any mistake, those accounts can go easily back to 60K in like a flick of a switch. So what I do, I just let go. I don't know, what's your experience, Geoff? I have to let go. That's why I've let go of half my Ethereum position. Although I love Ethereum, I'm still holding to Polkadot, so that it's just a discipline. This is the hardest part of all, guys. We have to take money in the bank.
Yep, old saying, and I'm very, very fond of it. You cannot go broke banking. Now, a lot of people will argue against that and say, hodl, go for your life. You can't get out of a trend quickly. And, there's evidence to suggest that's true, but it's not always the case. And everyone's got a different way to do it. But always, for me, it is capital protection, number 1, speculation, number 67, and, programmed and disciplined trading, number 1. That's the way to do it. In my book, I've seen too many people start well, make a fair bit of money, give most of it back, if not all of it back, and you don't see them ever again. That's it, done, sorted. Look, entirely up to you if you want to make a quick buck and can and get out. But gee whiz, there's a long line of people who have attempted to do that and failed, and that's kind of where I sit. So entirely up to you the way you do it. The good part about this organization is you've got many methods of trading, and whichever one you choose will ultimately be the one that suits your personality and your risk profile. Pretty much that simple. But Shukri, I'm on board with you, mate. Got to take profit. You just got it.
Thanks. That's why when you see me next week, it's more of how do I extract that thing while the profits go in the bank. Okay, that's very important. Okay, I'm not recycling the profits, guys. I'm not recycling. Okay, no such thing.
Yep. All right, guys, that is it. Those of you who will see in the trading retreat, wow, as I said, fasten your seatbelts. Choose the ones that you want to listen to. It's going to be really tough to do it 15 hours a day. I know because I've done it 4 times now. And boy, geez, I'm buggered at the end of it, I've got to tell you. But then we do party long hard after the show. That won't be happening this year. So as I said, I'll be waking up far better than I would if I were in Bali. Have a great week ahead, guys. Those of you who aren't in the trading retreat, we look forward to catching up with you on the following week when all of our shows will resume. That's it, guys. Thank you, Mai, for hanging on. Bye-bye for now.